Okay, so here is the problem that was brought up. We get off the intro call and they don't get their statements to us, or they don't commit to a planned delivery meeting. Or maybe they say it sounds good and I want to do that, but then they never schedule it and we never hear from them again. That's the problem. So today we're just going to go over the important steps that we need to take to get them a little bit to have more buy-in and to be more motivated to take the next step. So we remember the three important parts of the first and second meeting. It's we've got to have emotion, and we have to have logic, and we also have to have urgency. Those are the three things we need to get people to take the next step. And I've heard this from, I think it was Aaron Botsford. In order for people to do the next meeting or to become a client or take the next step, they need to acknowledge the consequence of inaction. So our job as advisors is to point out what happens if they don't take action now. So, how do we help them do this? How do we help them understand the consequence of an action? We've got to go a little bit deeper when they mention something related to a problem or a pain or a concern. So we have to be aware of the when they're saying things that could be a problem, a pain, or a concern, something that's happening now or has been happening in their life. And what we'll do is ask a few follow-up, a few key questions that I'll give you in this video, a few key questions. And it's best to do this only after the initial rapport is built. So we want to have the first key questions we always do and build that relationship in the beginning. And then it's easier to ask these questions. And one thing to note that that was brought up is it's not always easy to bring up questions that that might make someone feel a little bit more pain than they're used to, right? We want to be the alleviators of that pain. We don't want to be the ones bringing it to them, but it's really important for urgency. So here's an example. Let's say the client says, "Oh, I'm not sure I'm making the best decision, so I'm talking to different advisors to see what I should do." Here's the question. Don't forget, we need tonality here, and we need it to be the curious type of tonality. We need to change our face to be curious because we really want to understand. So when they say, "I'm not sure I'm making good decisions," you can say, "Can you give me a specific example just so I can understand that better?" That's one of the questions. Can you give me a specific example just so I can understand that better? That tonality is different than, "Can you give me a specific example just so I could understand that better?" Right? You can tell one's reading from a script and one's not. Another question possibly is, I'll put all these in this video, and you could test them. Use the ones that are most that are best for you. The next one is, "Can you walk me through what you meant by that?" So go a little bit deeper. Another say they mention another problem, pain, or concern. Here's a few just really quickly. "How long have you been concerned about that?" Now, I don't even know if that was the best tonality, but how long have you been concerned about that? Next one is, "How long have you been feeling that way?" Right. Another one is, that actually that idea of how long have you been feeling that way? Uh, if you can, what we've been doing, we've noticed that in month 2, clients will often talk to us or email us and tell us how much better they're feeling, how they used to be worried. They're not worried anymore. They used to be concerned. They're not concerned anymore. It's okay to share that. I mean, that's an anecdote. That's a story. Share that with the prospects that you're talking to. Um, another question you could ask after a pain or problem or concern is brought up is, has that impacted your decision to retire, or has that impacted your decisions to, or it could just be, has that impacted your financial decisions? Right? Something like that. Just genuinely interested, genuinely curious. A couple other things here, going one step deeper, is, let's say they bring up, "Oh, I want to talk, I'm interviewing different advisors and just wanting to see how they all work and who I should work with." You can ask, "Can you go over the qualities that you think you're looking for in a financial advisor?" That's key. They'll tell you exactly what they're looking for. That's important to know. Let's see. Next one is, think about this. So first off, let's just draw a line there. The whole goal is to go a little bit deeper when they bring up those concerns, because at the end, let's say it's the intro call and you're learning about them, you're curious, you understand their pain, you're bringing up the pain a little bit and understanding the impact on their life and the consequence of inaction. If they don't do anything, they'll keep feeling that way. So at the end of the call, the intro call, one of the key things that Tim mentioned is that he's going to write down for his intro calls is, you mentioned the concern about this, and this, and you wanted help with when to do Roth conversions, or when to tax loss harvest, or how to set up your investments now that you're close to retirement. In the plan delivery meeting, the next meeting, we're going to go over those and answer those so you know exactly what to do next. And then also, we're going to go over any risks that you might not be thinking about, or maybe risks that are out there that are to come in the future, and then come up with a plan to eliminate those, or at least to lessen them. So the main recap here is, in order for them to take the next step, they need to acknowledge the consequence of an action. And our job is to point out what happens if they don't take action now. And we're bringing up emotion, logic, which we're pretty good at, and then urgency. So today it was all around urgency and going a little bit deeper with those questions that we just went over. And it's after we build the rapport. So good luck in the next meeting. Test these out, and I'll see you in the next video.